That was the last time we talked about it. How to get what you need, how to get what you want. I'm talking about every day. I'm talking about not fail. I'm talking about making sure you have the confidence to get through the day that you're in. There's some more. I'm getting ready to take a shovel of the Spirit and dig down deeper. Are you ready to go with me? Let's go. I'll be right back.
On this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Abundant Life Cathedral Church, the church of tomorrow today. A ministry that is building the people that shape the world.
All right. If you're watching this by rebroadcast, listen, just act like, oh, they must have rebroadcast. They broadcasted this thing hours ago. No, don't act like this. We're in the space and time. We're going to talk about some of that. Act like you're looking at this in real time, because to me, it is real time. So just grab a hold of it. I've been doing this for over 45 years. I have been studying natural things, spiritual things, and I'm not just off into the ooh over there somewhere. No. Somebody once said you take the newspaper and the Bible, put the Bible in one hand, newspaper in another hand. You look at what's going on in the natural world, look at what's happening through the spiritual world, look at through the lens of one, through the lens of the other, so that you can be able to see what's going on and how to deal with life on an everyday basis. I've been doing this for a long time. And the reason I'm saying that is because I have learned some little secrets, tips, tricks, some ways to sidestep some pitfalls that we may fall into on an everyday basis. I'm not saying all of them we can get through, but there's some things I can say, hey, that's not a good place or a good road to go down. Let me show you, make a choice, try this and see what happens. So I've done that. I'm going to grab your hand and we're going to, hey, go down this road with each other. I'm going to be a little bit ahead of you and say, hey, I'm looking out. It's like a scout, okay, coast is clear. Let's go on. So make sure that you hang in here with us. Of course, you got your comments. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part. ALC, Abundant Life Center, Abundant Life Cathedral. People who have never been in ALC before, thank you for joining us for the first time. If you've never watched us, or if you're watching us for the first time, thank you. If you're not, we're in Houston. If you're watching from another city other than Houston, type in your city on your comment. If you're watching from another state other than Texas, type in your state. If you're watching from another country, you've been in another time zone, let me know where you are. I want to know where you are, because it helps me to, gauge how we do our rebroadcasting, where we send all these kind of things. All right, share it. You got your finger on that like button. You said, well, I don't know if I like this or not. Well, just hang in here. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to talk about today. It's about how to get what you need every single day. You said, but you talked about that last week. I scratched the surface last week. I skated on top of the ice last week. There's some treasure deep down, and we're going down into it. Get a shovel. I got one. We're going to dig into some places that you may not have ever gone spiritually, or just everyday. And it's not spiritual. It's just everyday understanding. But we're going to do this together. Okay? All right. Now, let me lay the ground rules. I may go into different stories or accounts that Jesus talked about. I'm not going to throw up all the scriptures for every single connection that I make of where Jesus is going, because I'm actually just going to be dealing with Luke chapter 11. This is where our foundation, our springboard is from. And so I may talk about one thing, or I may talk about another thing. I may not give you the reference, but you say, well, it'll take me forever. You know we don't have forever on this internet. So we only have a little bit of time. So just follow me along. Secondly, we're going to give some definitions and understand what definitions that used to be then are now. So I'm big on that. So keep your ears open to when one comes up, okay? All right. If I have heard that one scripture all of my life, that we walk by faith and not by sight. And people say, oh yeah, I walk by faith and not by sight. I'm believing God. This is a little buzz phrase that Christians use, church people use, when they say, I'm believing God. What they mean by that is I don't have something that I want or something that I need yet. I'm in the process of this spiritual act of visualizing, thinking about it, and whatever it is that I'm dealing with or going through in order that how I have been taught in order to get it. So I am believing God. In other words, they don't want to say, I ain't got it yet. I don't know where it is, because that sounds like a negative kind of connotation. And you don't want to be, people say, oh, I don't want to be negative, because if you're negative, you'll never get it. You got to try to stay positive. Although you don't have it and you feel like you're lacking, but yet you want to stay spiritual and believing. So you use the term believing God. So we talk about we walk by faith and not by sight. Well, don't throw sight away. There's nothing wrong with walking by sight. Put it to you this way. If you can't pay your rent and you walking by faith to pay your rent and not by sight, what that means is sight, not walking by sight, mean ain't no need of me walking by sight. I don't want to walk by sight because I can't pay my rent and I can't sight or see how I'm going to get it. So I need to walk by faith so I can see in the spiritual realm and the faith realm how I can somehow pay my rent. So I don't want to walk by sight. But if you have your money for your rent, guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to walk by faith. You can walk by sight. Why? Because you have the money to pay the rent. So which is better? Well, they're both the same. Yeah. But all of us would rather have our money to pay our rent, have your house note, have your car note, have your school, your bill that you're paying for your school loans and everything. Have that done. Be able to buy your computer. Be able to get online. Be able to watch a little Netflix or Amazon Prime, whatever you're going to do. You want to have the money there. You don't want to, every time you want to watch a movie, thing comes up and say you need to check your card. That's not what you want. So what you want to do, you want to walk by sight. But when you don't have what you need, when you can't see your way, then you got to walk by faith. Now, this is how I started. This is how I began. When you don't have sight, when you can't see your way or see how you going to make ends meet or make something work or get a contract or go forward, then you have to walk by faith. So we have to begin. So I teach faith. I taught faith especially early in ministry, especially early when I say ministry, I'm talking about people that I spiritually tutored. That's what ministry is. Ministry, of course, is service. This is what we do in order to serve the public. That's public ministry, to serve the needs of people. But one of the ways that we serve the needs of people is to teach them how to function spiritually, so they don't get discouraged. So they don't, when life doesn't work out, because it gets tough out here. It gets rough. And you have to know how to be able to get through those tough times because you won't always have somebody to help you or to pray with you or to comfort you. Some of us have had people that we have loved, people in our lives, husbands and wives and boyfriends, girlfriends. Some of them have left. Some of them have passed away. Some of them we've lost. Some of them won't come back. Some of them was with us during COVID. Some of them left after, when COVID kind of started going down a little bit. And so when we come home, we need somebody to encourage us. We need lifting. We need sometimes just to tell what happened in our day, I know exactly how you feel. But it's during those times that if you're not careful, you can get despondent. You can get discouraged. You can get, though even though you're alone, you may be alone, but then you don't have to be lonely. But then you can get lonely. You can get, just almost feel like you're depressed. But it is here that we want to learn how to walk by faith when you can't see your way, when you can't see how you're going to make the money that you need to pay your bills, or how you're going to get through a particular illness, or how you're going to get through when your body is hurt. What's going to be the future of your life? How's your family going to react? How are your kids doing around you? So many different scenarios, because in our world, there's so many different scenarios going on. So we want to learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. But when you can see how to make your way, when you got the kind of money that you want and need, like some other folk have, they got it. You don't hear them folk, I'm walking by faith and I'm believing God. They don't say that. They're just go out there and write a check. Now, that's when we talk about believing God. Jesus was what we called a mystic. And what I mean by mystic, he spoke of things in mystical terms. He wasn't always talking about natural things. Sometimes he would talk in the spirit, and he would talk about spiritual kind of things during that particular time. And they would sit around, the disciples would sometimes look at each other and say, what are you talking about? What do you say? Oh, shh, what do you say? And Jesus would say, I hear you thinking. You think I'm, a little bitty loony here. But he would turn around and say, when you pray, believe that you receive, and you shall have it. So, we began to understand something about where things are and the spiritual essence of things. We're living on this planet, what we call planet Earth, the third one from the sun. We are a solar system of 9 planets, 8 planets, if you want to count Pluto as a planet 9. And we are in this solar system, or this what we call this Milky Way galaxy. And we're looking at, 400 billion stars in our galaxy. And it is believed in the universe itself, billions of galaxies that are out there. When we look up and we see stars in the sky, but what we must understand is that we're only seeing maybe about 4% of the light that is out there. The other light that is out there is invisible. Another percentage of it is called dark matter. The vast percentage of it out there is called matter. Is called dark matter or dark energy. And it is believed these are the things that hold our universe together. In other words, things that you cannot see is literally holding the universe together. And they've detected waves through sound and sonics and things of that sort, to where they said there's something out there, but we can't see it. We can throw a spectrum of light in the sky, and what's invisible to our human eyes, we can see through infrared or see through other spectrums of light. So there's something out there. I like to tell people in very simple terms. I believe that blessings are coming at us People say, well, that's like atoms. Okay, call them atoms. Molecules, call them molecules. Or go into quantum physics. But I believe that blessings are coming at us, going from us, going in us, going through us. I believe that blessings are coming in us, going through us, coming out of us. I believe that and it's all moving at this great speed. 186,000 miles per second speed of light. I believe it's even moving faster than that, but that's basically where it's supposed to end. Just that the universe is constantly expanding, so are we constantly expanding. The solar system does not stop moving. It is still constantly spinning as our solar system sits right on the tip end of that swirl of the Milky Way. Blessings, miracles, what we don't have, I believe is all around us. Now, whether or not we have it, get it, we believe that it's there. So the thing that we're looking for is how to make what is not a physical reality around us a physical reality in our lives. That's what you hear when people start talking about spirituality. Jesus says it this way. And that comes out of Matthew chapter 6. He says, lay not up your treasures on earth, where moths and rust can eat and corrupt what you have, and you can lose these earthly treasures. He said, but lay up your treasures in heaven, where the moth can't get it, where the rust can't eat it up. And he says, because where your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Where your treasure is where your heart is. In other words, heart meaning spirit. Where your spirit is where your treasure is. In other words, where your spirit is where what you value. What you value is where your spirit is. What you really value, what you really want, what you really believe. And then Jesus begins to say, and here's how we get it. His disciples says, how do you get it? Jesus says, you have to pray for these kind of things. And how do you do it? And Jesus begins by saying, say, our Father. Now here comes his first singer I'm going to throw at you. Jesus says, say, our Father. Not my Father, but our Father. Now, last time I was talking from the vantage point of, all of us, we're God's children, and let's speak as one people, as our Father. Our Father. Does that mean Baptists and the Methodists can have the same Father God? Yes. Methodists and Catholics? Well, yeah. What about Muslims? What about, we go on and on and on. But this is not, let's take the shovel. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go into earth, a little bit deeper in the spiritual realm. Bam. Here we go. Jesus is saying, my Father is your Father. Okay, I don't get it. Jesus is saying, your Father is my Father. Okay, I understand that, but, we don't understand that, but he's your Father better than he is our Father, because you're the only begotten Son of God. Jesus said, forget only begotten Son of God thing. Because he says it in John chapter 16. Read it sometimes. He says, my Father works, reacts, and functions with me the exact same way he functions with you. You just don't know it. Your mindset about yourself, or your mindset about your Father not wanting to interact with you. The only difference between me and you is that I understand that he wants to interact with me. If I can get you to understand it, then what it is I have and what I do, you can do also. One time Jesus was, one of his disciples, I believe it was Peter, that came to him. One of his students came to him and he says, hey, they coming at us about these property taxes. Jesus, what you going to do about it? Jesus began to philosophize about the property tax, about taxes rendered unto Caesar, that which is Caesar's. And after he got through saying all the things in the scriptures, Peter said, we still got to pay these taxes. Jesus said, all right, go out, throw your line up, throw the net out, catch the first fish. The first fish you get, look in its mouth, and you'll find a coin. And that coin, take that coin and go and pay my taxes, your taxes, all of our taxes, and be done with it. Now, that's just a natural thing. But where did that come from? How did Jesus know that that coin was in the mouth of that first fish? Now, it don't say the coin miraculously appeared in the fish's mouth. Jesus just knew where it was. We take from this, not this magical thing about there's enough money in a fish's mouth to pay your taxes. That's cool. But we take from it that Jesus has an understanding about something. There is a prosperity in our understanding of something. When we understand something, there is value. There is a coin there. So if we can seek to understand something, then that understanding becomes valuable to us. And not just valuable in our minds, but valuable to our lives, to where it can manifest spiritually, physically. It can manifest in so many different ways. Why do you go to school? Why and where you want to get an education? Why you go to college? What your mama and them tell you? You better go to school so you can go ahead and get your education. So you can get what? A good job. Well, that's not really the reason we go. But when you broke, that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason you're going. So you can go get you a degree and get you somewhere you can go get a good job. In other words, you want a marketable skill. A marketable skill is something that you can take, that you can't see, that is intangible, and you can trade it for something that somebody else wants into a tangible thing to where they can write you a check for it. Listen, it's all out there. Blessings are everywhere. They move all around. Jesus says this. He says, so when you pray our Father. You got to get into an attitude that I have with my Father, with God, that he is Father, source, progenitor, friend. Everything I need. I am in the Father. Jesus said, I am in the Father. The Father's in me. Here's what you say. I'm in the Father. The Father is in me. You can't talk like that. Why not? Jesus said talk like that. When you learn to talk like that, I am in the Father. The Father is in me. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, will be done on earth. In other words, look, on earth, everything that is around in this universe is wanting to manifest for you. How many of you right here, right now, has something that you need, something that you want? You don't have to tell me, but you could tell me right now through your comments. There is something that I need. And all you got to do is say it. Type it in that comment. There is something that I need. If I could type it, I'd type it myself. There is something that I need. Only you know what it is that you need. Only I know what it is. I don't have to tell nobody. But once you type that in there, it's going to open up something that's beyond you. That's going to open up the door to say, I'm opening up the door for it to come in. I'm going to create a funnel to where it gets solid within my thought process and in my mindset. There is something that I need. As a matter of fact, if that's your comment, put it in there. Let me see it. Put that in there. But you're not typing that in that comment from me. Type it in there for yourself. See it pop up. See it roll up on the screen. Share this with some of your friends, because some of your friends are going through something that is very traumatic, especially during the holidays. And they need to be able to have some hope here and to believe, listen, I'm not out here by myself. I'm not out here all alone. I'm not out here without any resources. There is a way to get what I need every single day, one way or the other. Are you saying that no matter what I want, I get it dropped down from heaven? Well, you're going the wrong direction. It ain't going to be dropped down from anywhere. But what you need can be manifested every day so that that need becomes met, and you will receive a sense of satisfaction every day knowing that what it is that you need is manifested right here, right now, every day. How many of you are ready for that? Huh? Hit your like button. Hit that thumbs up. I know if you're ready for it, hit that thumbs up. And then Jesus makes this statement. And he says, give us this day our daily bread. That's where we were last week. And here's where I really want to dig that shovel in a little bit deeper. Here's what I believe. I believe that the blessings that we need are already, people say, well, they're in heaven. What does it mean to be in heaven? Does that mean that there's a blessing in a Christmas package, you know, with a box with a bow sitting up there? And them? If that's what you want, how you want to see it that way. In a palace or sitting up under the Christmas tree around the throne of God. However you want to see it. But I look at it this way. I believe that everything that I need and is literally waiting on me to speak. If it's healing, I believe that it's waiting on me to speak health. Even if I can't physically say the words, I believe that I can see them right here in my mind, to where it is burned into my consciousness. Healed. Health. I believe if we can see, I got another word. What about the word loved? Is that a good one? Let that burn into your consciousness. The word loved. I am loved. Got nothing to do with how I look. Doesn't have nothing to do with whether you like my hair or whatever. The first step of everything is realizing I am loved. Whew. Look, take a moment. Tell your friends, because somebody told me, they said, Doc, what you got to do? They said, you got to tell people, to tell them to share this thing with some people, because what's happening, this is some good stuff. And you are the only social media person that can help me get out what we're talking about. I'm convinced the holidays and what's going on right now, people can get through. Let's help them get through. Share it with a friend. Hit that thumbs up. Watch this. It'll only be about 180 something seconds, I believe. This is not a long one. I don't think it is. It's not a long one. And I'm just going to share this little message. And then I'm coming back. And we're going to take one more shovelful and dig a little bit deeper. Be right back. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery. And I want to encourage you about one thing. Don't you let your season pass you by. I've been talking on these little bitty clips about flowers and opening and blooming. But it takes pollination. In other words, it takes somebody going from one flower to another flower. And that's somebody, little bees and things of that sort. But just like bees will go from one flower to another flower and cause pollination and cause those flowers to reproduce, I think we touch each other's lives the same way. When we smile at each other, we reproduce joy and happiness. Our world needs so much. This is what ALC does. And when you give, you make a huge difference in our world. Take the time, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. Hit the donate button. You can give that way. A second way to give is to be able to use your text to give on your phone. And you can send it to the number 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. And put however much the amount you want to give right in that text message part of it and send it safe and secure. Not only that, but you can use your app. Don't forget, if you're in the app right now, you can give through it right now. And then also, you can use your P.O. box. Just slip a check. People still do checks nowadays. Or you can give through your debit cards or credit cards if you got an envelope. But if you're just mailing it, put a stamp on that envelope and you can send it to Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas 77215. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your contributions. I really appreciate you. Thank you, ALC, Abundant Life Center. And for all of you, ALC globally, thank you for being a part of our lives. I hope we can continue to be a part of your life. Love you. See ya. Look, when we use that phrase, give us this day, give us today what we need. We emblazon this on our mindset, on our consciousness, to the extent that we expect what we need. And then when you start going into areas that are new areas of faith, new corporate ventures, new business atmospheres, new projects, how we do things differently, and say, give us this day, then that whole thing takes on a whole new meaning. Look, some of you, this week, it's Thanksgiving. And believe me, Thanksgiving is more than, don't go into the Indians and the Pilgrims and things of that sort. It's more than that. First of all, it's about being thankful for what we have, who we are, and the people that are around us. It's a moment and it's a time of gratitude. Yeah, you may wind up in the house with some people who ain't, that you want to hurry up and eat the turkey. As a matter of fact, they might be a turkey. You might want to put them in the oven and say, Lord, put them in a permanent oven. That's not nice. But this time, this year, have some gratitude for where you are. I know there's gonna be a little sadness. Some people are gonna experience. I know that. But this is a place and time that we can get through it and we can say, give us this joy. Just hit one. How many of you need some joy? Give us this joy, our daily bread. Give us this day our joy. Yeah, that's the way it's going to be. Give us this day our joy. Give me my joy. Take the moment to be safe. I know you're going to get in there and be with people and you're going to, rip your masks off and things like that. I understand. I know. They're even saying, people who are vaccinated going to Thanksgiving, hey, take your mask off, eat, have fun, enjoy your life. But, you're always going to have some folk, who may not tell you the truth and come in there and want to breathe all the, You know, I don't care if you have been vaccinated. I don't know if it don't all over me. You know, you drunk too much of too many grapes in you. But take this moment and just realize, I'm being crazy here, that this is a holiday. And enjoy the holidays. Remember to be grateful. Secondly, remember this is where we give. Show some gratitude. Be thankful for what God has blessed you with. Drive safe. Be careful out there in them streets. Look, I know these people are acting crazy out there in that world. You know, well, I got faith. Have faith, but you better keep your eyes around you too. Make sure you got your driver's license with you. Don't put them too far away for you got to reach. Make sure you got them close. Look, I'm just telling you to be safe. And to remember that you are covered with the Father. You are in the Father's hands. You're saying, Heavenly Father, I pray for my family. I pray for my friends. I pray for those of you where you are right now. Meet every need. Open up the vision for the answered prayer. All of the power and the energy of the world and the universe and the God consciousness and everything you can ever think of is flowing through this plastic, this glass, this stream, this camera, this phone. It's flowing through it right now into your life. And with faith, I call this done. Amen. And thank you already, Father, for answering our prayer. How great is that? Isn't that good? That's wonderful. Now, they put some shop music on there. Well, it's coming up Thanksgiving. Have fun. Look, we to all the volunteers that have been working this week, thank you so much. I dropped in on them the other day, and they were cataloging things, and I want to say thank you so much for what you're doing and doing the little tedious work that enables us to get through some things. We know that things are going to open up the second Sunday of December. We don't know how many Sundays it goes. We don't know anything. Keep watching myalc.org. That's myalc.org. All that information is going to be there, so keep me from saying the wrong thing. You know, I am getting a little younger nowadays. Okay? All right. I got to go. My time is gone. Just dance a little while. Hit that comment, share, and like. Thumbs up. All right. Later. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery, and I want to encourage you about one thing. Don't you let your season pass you by. I've been talking on these little bitty clips about flowers and opening and blooming, but it takes pollination. In other words, it takes somebody going from one flower to another flower, and it's somebody, little bees and things of that sort. But just like bees will go from one flower to another flower and cause pollination and cause those flowers to reproduce, I think we touch each other's lives the same way. When we smile at each other, we reproduce joy and happiness. Our world needs so much. This is what ALC does. And when you give, you make a huge difference in our world. Take the time, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. Hit the donate button. You can give that way. A second way to give is to be able to use your text to give on your phone. And you can send it to the number 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. And put however much the amount you want to give right in that text message part of it and send it safe and secure. Not only that, but you can use your app. Don't forget, if you're in the app right now, you can give through it right now. And then also, you can use your P.O. box. Just slip a check. People still do checks nowadays. Or you can give through your debit cards or credit cards if you got an envelope. But if you're just mailing it, put a stamp on that envelope, and you can send it to Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas 77215. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your contributions. I really appreciate you. Thank you, ALC, Abundant Life Center, and for all of you, ALC globally. Thank you for being a part of our lives. I hope we can continue to be a part of your life. Love you. See ya.